Hey yo, how's it going? Manny here. We're gonna be doing a little bit of pure fiction, and it was genuinely horrifying. I'm actually using the footage here at 1.5 speed because it took that long to beat. It was very hellish. It was only a lot of fun though, but like it was also hellish because of how long it took, especially because in my particular case, the game crashed twice on the second half. So it was annoying. It wasn't like the end of the world, but it was rough. And the main thing I genuinely adore about this one is, we have like again our three different buffs that we can use in rumor, defamation, and libel. Personally speaking, I have no idea why I would use libel. Maybe I'm just coping out of my mind. Maybe I don't understand it properly. I saw its use, and it's definitely pretty useful, but I would much rather go with a defamation debuff as I went in both of my halves for pure fiction. The reason being is, at least with Kafka, right? The fact that I can trigger the effects allows me to speed up all my party members essentially. And since I have both Kafka and Sampo on this half, it just allowed me to just move everybody forward. Not to mention that I just recently got Kafka's Lycone, meaning she's essentially at about like 170, 180 speed. So she just gets her turns very, very quickly, and she speeds up my whole party very efficiently. It's weird because it low-key feels like Kafka not only is my damage healer, but also my healer. I'm kind of wondering now as well if it would have been better had I brought Ting Yun instead of Huohuo. Mind you, Huohuo is still really good, especially for the particular case of YANQING that annoyed me. It's mostly as a layer of defense. Mainly because if I do get CC'd, if I do get frozen, one, whenever it's my turn, I won't immediately lose my turn, and two, well, unless I don't have stacks like I didn't have right there. But like secondly, it just helps out in the fact that even if you are frozen, you immediately thaw out, right? And I just find it to be like really, really good. Like it's a really amazing mechanic. These annoying freaking fish, were they were existing. It was just annoying that they would all hit my party members. I did still like to have that layer of defense in having a healer. Personally speaking, I don't know. I feel like I'm just going too risky if I don't have my own healer in this kind of setups, and it will always be horrifying to me. Regardless, with freaking Ranmei, Sampo, Kafka, like shredding through these opponents is like legitimately not a problem. It's incredibly freaking easy, and I have learned something new about pure fiction, or at least I assume that it is new, because it bothered me massively. I just was not a fan of it, personally speak. Nonetheless, though, I find it to be a really cool change. It's an amazing change. And also, real quick, kind of just to go back on the tangent, I do like how they added the rumor buff in this pure fiction, because that way you can still abuse the turbulence buff without having to have built DOT characters. And like characters like Herta and Himiko who do multi-hit can easily apply like 5 stacks in one singular go. So I just wanted to mention that real quick because I thought that was an amazing fucking like change. But essentially, this is what I'm wanting to like rant on, and it's like coming in very, very fucking soon, and I'm like waiting for all these enemies to just take damage. Essentially, here I move forward YANQING because I want him to like take the DOT. I want him to perish, and then he gains immunity. Yep, he gains immunity, and I was so confused. And I even tried to attack with Wolf. I was like, maybe if I attack him once, the immunity will go away. Maybe it's like a weird little Jipart shield kind of moment. And I was confused. And last turn, I'm like, this is my last turn. How do I get rid of this? And it says unremovable. You have to defeat a certain number of enemies. So I could have gotten more points. I could have been at, I want to say about like 3,000, like 32,000. No, I think more because I just finished at 32,000 there. But I feel like I could have easily finished at 35,000 and just gotten massive amounts of points that way. But the game said no. Regardless, though, again, this like teams are just absolutely amazing, wonderful, and I genuinely adore them. Also, it sucked the fact that I got they cancelled my last Ruan May turn, and therefore my Kafka couldn't do her follow-up attack either. The second half, though, is the one that I had the most struggle. Here, I knew I needed to not bring a healer, and I was banking on the fact that the blood, like the turbulence, I'm not even sure what they're called. Direct buffs, or like blessings, whatever they're called in like pure fiction. These essentially were the things that were gonna carry me, and I just kind of replaced that with, hey, now I'm gonna get the defamation buff. I'm gonna assume that Lil Guay is able to just fucking get me as much fucking healing as possible, because the explosion, essentially, Guinaifen is like Pyro Kafka, but only triggers Pyro. Fucking, I'm like talking in like Genshin terms, because everything that fucking happened this fucking week is just being engraved in my mind. No, but like, yeah, she's a fire Kafka essentially, right? Because she triggers all instances of like fire that an enemy has, which means that she's able to like fast forward my team and heal my party members, which I find to be like incredibly useful. Afterwards, we have freaking Jing Liu just to like delete, like, do as much damage as possible. It still feels super weird though, mainly because Jing Liu worked massively well in this like very first half, right? And like it is recommended that you bring, ice and fire against these enemies, and I could have brought Herta. Now that I look at it, I even built Herta with the purpose of, maybe like the next time they're gonna have like pyro and fucking hell words, fire and ice as like weaknesses, and then I can abuse it. And like here you can even see it like even further. I'm just like, I forgot to bring those kind of debuffs, those kind of words. Yeah, just I forgot that I could have brought freaking Herta here, and that would have been like incredibly useful. Still, Jing Liu just deletes enemies, so it's not like I'm complaining, and she has the ability to fast forward her own actions, so again, it's not like I'm complaining. It was awful though. I just hated the fact that, they recommend these, but the final boss is Argenti, and that Argenti has only one shared weakness among all of his like blades, or whatever the hell those things like that surround him are called, because all of them have just like the physical weakness. Hence why I brought Argenti. Like that's the only reason why Argenti is sitting down here and trying his best, because I needed him to absolutely delete his own self. Because I don't know, I still find it very ironic that the king of erudition, Argenti, is weak against himself. Also, there I just felt so cringe doing that. I was like, oh, I need to just immediately ult, like less damage, but I need to speed forward, and it felt so weird that it didn't kill. Anyways, here I'm like trying. This is like the main part, trying to big brain this shit, but no, but this is like genuinely to no avail. My goal here now, as I see that like the last turn is approaching, I was just thinking, oh, I need to go for just as much damage as possible. I just need to reach that 60,000. And I kind of didn't realize, I forgot that these things when they die, they give different types of buffs, or they can do damage to Argenti or others. So maybe these ones, the fire ones and the ice ones, dealt damage amongst, like those two, I think I just saw, at least the two fire ones just dealt damage to all of my party members, which means that when they die, they all just fall down. It seems that the ice one right there on the far left, they is indeed the ice one, gives the damage buffs. Huh. But also you might see that, like, my party members are kind of struggling a little bit. Just a little bit. So I'm like clutching here. I'm like literally begging Argenti to not delete me, and I'm like using all of my ultimates and everything I can, and like look, I'm like literally 500 points away. I literally just do not want to fucking die. Argenti proceeds to hit Argenti, who just got buffed. He dies. It was awful. I'm trying my best. I possibly shouldn't have hit that one, because that one could have cost me like a lot. I decided to hit the ice one because I have like Jing Liu there, and I could like immediately fast forward her action, allowing me to get an extra turn to be able to attack. But regardless, it didn't even matter, for I was able to get that 60k just barely. Freaking Himeko falls down because this game hates me. Then I just want to get like, just for the sake of getting a few little points, I'm like, oh, let me like try. Yeah, that was essentially how I was able to somehow 3-star the last Pure Fiction. I'm just very happy, and here are essentially the builds. Thank you very much for watching the video, and if you've reached the end of this segment, I would just want to say thank you for the view, thank you for the time, thank you for just hearing me ramble on. I would love to know what kind of strategies you guys used for your own pure fiction. I know that this one might not be the most conventional one, but I just thought speed is king, so I'm gonna hope that speed will carry me through this entire thing. And yeah, with that being said and done, this has been the video. Also, wait, actually, no, before I forget, we do have some winners to announce at the very end of this whole segment. I will be posting who the winners were for our giveaway on Twitter. And yeah, again, they've already been posted. By the time that this video has come out, they should be already be getting contacted with. So yeah, now finally, for real, with all that being said, have a great and amazing rest of your days. Bye.